Hello YouTube, Joe here from Team Bring Infinity again. I promised you guys a different kind of version of Dragon World where it has a lot more prevention and defensive cards from the BTO1. That'll be called Dragonic. Be opening one this week. Most likely, unless my locals is out of stock when I go. But yeah, as I was saying, Dragon World with a bunch of defensive tactics. That's pretty much the deck I'm about to show you, and I actually tested some, and it's not that bad. The interesting thing about this deck, though, is it does not play any impact cards, nor does it play Drago Braves or Steelfish Drago Knuckles. You'll see everything. It'll be very confusing. It's more for the defensive player and a very, 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 very budget player. Although I can't imagine anyone not being able to get 4 Rising Flares. Not that you really need them in this deck. You have at least 12 removal cards, and I'm actually missing some cards, so that even lowers the high amount of removal cards in the deck already. So let's move on to the deck profile. I'm gonna have to zoom out a bit. Okay, there we go. So obviously for your world, Dragon Flag. That way you can play Dragon World. Then Buddy's Extreme Sword Dragon, because you could really put anything as your buddy, and I just like the 3 crit. I was actually thinking about playing Dragon Knight Alexander in this deck. That way I have 7 copies of 3 crit size 2 monsters, but I don't need the 3 crit that badly. As I was saying, this is a defensive version of Dragon World. If you would like a completely offensive sided Dragon World build, just let me know in the comments down below. And thank you for all your support on all the other videos. We're at 120 subs right now. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. So yeah, keep an eye out for new kinds of videos, and the Facebook fan page should now be open. There will be a link on the channel, on this video down in the comments down below, and some other places. So yeah, on to the deck profile. I played 2 copies of Bronze Shield Dragon, because he is an extreme wall. I would actually be playing 3 because he is such a wall, and he can bait out a lot of link attacks, except you only get 2 in the trial deck, and I'm not buying another one for 1 card. I've actually thought about getting a 3rd one before, but no one has one, so just like my actual Dragon World build, you're playing 3 copies of Bear Trap Fang Dragon because you want some form of offense, and that's really what the size 1s are. And the monsters are really the offense, but the entire spell lineup is built for defense. And even some of the monsters are built for defense as well as offense. You can use them in a dual manner. So yeah, he's just part of the offensive. Balance card of the deck is 4 Systemic Dagger Dragons. And this card is pretty useful, I'm not gonna lie. Just having that balance of attack and still having 2 crit for size 1 is pretty useful. So it helps a lot, you gotta play it. 4 copies of Thousand Rapier Dragon, the true offense of the deck besides Jomodar Dragon, because he's got 5,000 attack and 2 critical for size 1, that's amazing. Also he's a classy dragon with a top hat. Or not a top hat, a hat with the fur things, I forgot what you call them. So that's it for the size 1s. Play 11 copies, I believe. Where are my Thousand Rapiers? Oh. Here we go. Yeah, 11, 8, 11. No, you play 13 size 1s. For size 2, 2 Steel Gauntlet Dragons. I would actually be playing 3, except I only have 2. I think I had sold one, or gotten rid of one when I got the boxer. I can't remember. But I only have 2, so I'm playing 2. He's 4k, 2 crit, and 7k defense. I would actually consider running this card in a regular Dragon World deck because of his high defense and still good offense and crit. So yeah, definitely worth a card considering running. Definitely gonna throw that in a tech video. 4 copies of the impossible not to have in your deck at least 1 copy Jomodar Dragon. This card is so good because it has 8,000 attack, 2 critical, 4k defense, just gets over everything. So it's both an offensive and defensive card. And then 4 copies of your buddy. Extreme Sword Dragon because I like that offensive edge. I'm kind of a aggro while having some defensive edge player. So this is just my preferred buddy, but you could really use any creature in the deck as a buddy. There's not really a recommended one. As goes for every other deck. It's probably the card you want to get out a pretty good portion of the time. I would actually recommend Jamadar or Steel Gauntlet if you have a lot of copies of that and cut down this card because you're playing defensive variant. So it'd actually probably take 2 of these or 1 of these out and then put the My Buddy for Steel Gauntlet. Definitely worth running. Amazing card, really useful size 2 lineup, pretty consistent. I have yet to really draw a dead hand. So I play a total of 23 monsters, I believe. Yeah, 23. For the spell lineup, I play 3 Dragonic Grimoire. This is really the main draw power of the deck, so you gotta play it. That's all I have to say. 4 Green Dragon Shield. I would actually drop this down to 3 because of all the defensive cards I have in the deck. But I only have oh so many removal cards that I need to get still. Definitely probably not going to keep this deck. I just figured I'd make it and show it because it's actually a pretty fun deck. And for those more defensively edged players, you might like this deck. So I recommend you guys try it if you guys want a fun deck. Any deck could be considered a fun deck right now. But you know what I mean. Just different kind of off the bat, odd, unusual, fun deck. I will be doing a chess deck because I've been seeing a lot of those. Except I do need to pick up a couple cards, like a couple Suppression Queens and King the Dominator still. And maybe a couple chess energies. But I've seen a lot of people do chess decks and I think they are cool. I think it's going to be one of those decks that's the ultimate fun deck, really. Just people have the most fun with it. For the next battle-oriented card, I have 4 Dragon Energies. You're playing a defensive deck that plays Armor Dragons. You need 4 copies. That's all I have to say. If you guys don't know what Dragon Energy does, check out one of the other Dragon World decks I have up on the channel. So that's 11 spells right there, and here's where the rest of the spell lineup comes in, and it's a pretty good portion of spells, I'd say. And then I'm gonna just go over the item really quick because the removal spells is what really makes this deck the defensive edge. So the item really quickly is 3 Dragon Blade Drago Fearless. Honestly, 2 reasons I'm doing this. 1, because it costs nothing. It's a free equip with 2 crit. And 2, your center's not really going to be open. So if you're having a weapon, you're just going to want that 1 quick turn maybe to attack. And then you're going to refill your center and your defenses. So this is just for a slight offensive push, or if you really have to play it. It's definitely probably a bad equip compared to others. I could play Burning Sword or Burning Dagger, but I feel like a free cost with 2 crit is pretty useful for an item. Okay, now going over all the removal cards. I'm going to go over all the cards before I say reasons. Skewer, 2 Dragon Breaths, 2 Neutralize, 2 Destruction, 3 Dragonic Shoot, and 3 Royal Fork. So that is the entire removal spell lineup. That's a total of 6, 10, 12, 13 removal cards. And this would actually be at 15, but I only have 1 skewer and not 3. And that's also another reason I can't play chess, really, because I want all those chess cards. But skewer's just there for quick size 1 removal. Maybe get a, if I'm playing a Dragon World deck, a Bronze Arm Shield out of the center, or Bronze Shield Dragons out of the center, or whatever, etc. for all the decks. Like for Magic World, Demon Knight, Abolus, just a quick example. Dragon Breaths, counter that can kill size 1s or 2s with 4,000 or less. Not often, but really useful card. I'm just going to throw that out there. 2 copies of Neutralize. Magic World has a few set cards. Dragon World actually does. I've seen a few Dragon World builds play the Dragon Seal, so it's pretty common. to use that card. And 2 destructions. Just about every deck has an item. I'm not even going to go over how important that is, so definitely really important to play those. The destructions I would actually play at 3, except I don't feel like using my 3rd copy yet. 3 Dragonic Shoots because it's a free removal card, and a lot of defensive cards, Magic World cards, and I think 1 or 2 Danger World cards have 3,000 or less defense. And if you can't really play it, it's good. Gauge Bait. You always want Gauge Bait. And 3 Royal Force to just remove size 2 is definitely useful, and the fact that you don't use Gauge often makes this card really live. In fact, it's one of the only cards you use Gauge for, besides your removals, for these 3. So these are really your Gauge cards. I don't think there's other cards with Gauge costs. Yeah, no other cards with Gauge costs. Also, instead of Bear Trap Dragons, I recommend you play Spike Shoulder Dragon. It's another small offensive push card, so that's the reason I recommend you play it. But that is my extremely defensive, I'll call it Dragonic Castle or something like that. And that's pretty much what I got for the deck. Maybe I'll play it a couple times in videos, or maybe I'll let a friend borrow it or something, but that's definitely that. That's all I have to say. It's a pretty good deck, and I enjoy playing it. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for other Buddy Fight videos. This is one more of my casual decks, and I really do enjoy it. So as I said, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out other content, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. From Team Brain Infinity, signing out.